So, guys, the information reaching us now is that Sheikh Gumi has actually run away from the country. He has actually escaped to Turkey after, making all sorts of threats against the United States government. I know after he heard that the United States government has actually finalized their plans to come into the country. I'm going to play some videos for you to see the extreme views this particular Sheikh Gumi has. And you keep on wondering, what is even the crime of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that you are allowing terrorist sympathizers and even terrorist enablers like Sheikh Gumi to be making all sorts of utterances? I love the United States. They don't joke and they are not even scared of anything. And I trust Donald Trump. So immediately this particular man, Sheikh Gumi, saw that the United States is very serious. Despite all the propaganda they are trying to use to downplay about the Christian genocide and the Islamic extremists, unaliving Christians, it did not work. Sheikh Gumi had to run away from Nigeria to Turkey, framing that he is going there to do one or two things and all that. But he knows that he is one of the people that the United States of America has actually put on their watch list. He can't be having extreme views. This was the man that has said all sorts of things, that the United States should not come and invade their distance, that the terrorists are their brothers, that the terrorists are their fathers, that the terrorists are their siblings and all that. And for that reason, that nobody should touch them, that the Nigerian government should not even touch them. That the Nigerian government, let me just play some of his videos so you could, listen to some of the things he said, and I'll play some other videos. When we come back, we'll try to analyze more issues here. There is fire on the mountain. No, he should have stayed in Nigeria. He could have seen Sheikh Banza nonsense. Let me play the video, guys. When we come back, we'll analyze more things.
Okay, sorry, please to cut you. You see, the former governor of Bauchi State, Yuguda, was able also to go with the government delegation into the bush, and they met more than 5,000 bandits. They were all complaining. Those who have lost their parents, those who have lost their brethren, those from our hostility too. So when you say they have killed, yes, I know they have killed, and it's wrong to kill anybody innocent. This is absolutely an obnoxious thing to do. We don't suppose that. But you see, if you know their psychology, they are on a revenge mission. Everybody knows the herdsmen, especially the Fulani herdsmen. They don't just attack people. We have been living with them for centuries. They don't attack people without any cause. So what I think government needs to do is to really bring them up together in a unison and in a holistic form, so that there is peace. And they are ready for that, because if you call them for peace, they come. It's unlike the others, like IPOB. IPOB, the government has been trying to dialogue with them. They still refuse. They are still behind creating a separate state. They're secessionists. Besides being terrorists, they're secessionists. Well, these people are not secessionists. They want peace. They call for it. In fact, they even invited a lot of media. I think Daily Trust is high time it really goes into the bush and have, although they did it before. And
this man called Sheikh Gumi. Then the same Nigeria government have to release Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, Nigeria government, you people need to come outside to tell us the offense of Nnamdi Kanu. And you people need to come outside to give us a vital point on why you people have not arrested Sheikh Gumi. The only man that go to the bush to snap picture with bandits. The only man that go to the bush to negotiate with the bandits. You people need to give us the reason why you have not arrested this same man called Sheikh Gumi. What is the offense of Nnamdi Kanu? Why are you people holding Nnamdi Kanu up till now? What did Nnamdi Kanu do? Yes, what did Nnamdi Kanu do? You understand? The Nigeria government need to arrest this man called Sheikh Gumi. He's not different from the bandits. He's not different from Boko Haram. He's not different from terrorists. In fact, this man called Sheikh Gumi is the one sponsoring the bandits, the Boko Haram, the terrorists. I'm not scared. You people need to arrest this man called Sheikh Gumi. Come and come tell us what Nnamdi Kanu do when we arrest him. Nnamdi Kanu is only fighting for each people. What offense have the Nnamdi Kanu commits that you people are still holding him? Why not letting the man go? And this Gumi, he's been everywhere snapping picture with the bandit, negotiating with the bandit, and the Nigerian government have yet to do anything about it. Just a lawless country, shameless country.
So guys, let's try to analyze these particular videos. Now let us start from the first video, which is the interview that Sheikh Gumi had. This is the problem I have with Nigeria. They give platforms to evil and terrible people. Now let me tell you something. Do you know that the pastor being Ezekiel Dakoma, who created that awareness of the Christian genocide that actually happened in the northern part of the country, most media outlets who have the country has not granted interview to that particular man, but almost all the media outlets have granted a media listening to this particular terrorist being Sheikh Gumi. And this goes a long way to tell the kind of country Nigeria operates. And this guy keep on pushing this ideology or probably this opinion that is emboldening and empowering these terrorists who have over there in the northern part of the country. You heard him loud and clear there when he made that particular comment that these particular terrorists, that they are on revenge, that some of them, their families have been this and that, that they are open for negotiations, and for that reason that the federal government should not, unalive them or probably attack them, that the federal government should keep on negotiating with them. He even had the audacity and therefore to make a reference to what Nnamdi Kanu and his people are doing, being agitation and seeking for secession, trying to say that Nnamdi Kanu's cause is even worse than what the bandits are actually doing over there in the northern part of the country. And you could see the narrative that the Nigerian government is actually pushing out there. And you expect that the United States of America, Donald Trump, will not actually, see these videos and know that through this particular country has a very big issue. Because you are pushing, and in fact, you are supporting and abating extremism and terrorism in the country by allowing people like Sheikh Gumi to be airing this kind of opinion on national television. And you know what this opinion does? It emboldens and empowers these terrorists, because when they hear it, they say, okay, fine, we can, continue our activities, because at the end of the day, the government will definitely come to terms and negotiate with us and place us on salary and even reintegrate us into the society, and not just stopping at that, and even bring us into the Nigerian security architecture. So it is not a full-blown business for them. And they don't stop at this. So these people go as far as trying to Islamize the country, because that is one of their primary agenda and probably their fundamental agenda. That is why you see them whenever they are carrying out these particular atrocities. You see them shouting Allah Akbar, this and that and that and that, because the foundation of their crusade or whatever they are doing is to make sure that they Islamize the country. Then other things they are doing is just basically a secondary. This maybe theft, kidnapping, and all that are just secondary. But Sheikh Gumi is actually encouraging them, because deep down him, Sheikh Gumi knows the agenda of these particular people. He knows that these people are Islamic crusaders that want to, take over people's land and make Islam to dominate the country, gradually, secretly, subtly, without people noticing or probably understanding what's actually going on. That's why Sheikh Gumi will never allow the United States to come in to eliminate this. Because tell me why. Let us try to be factual here. Now tell me why the threat Donald Trump gave became a big trouble. Donald Trump did not say he was coming for the northern Muslims. No, he said, I'm coming specifically for these Islamic extremists and Islamic terrorists, which shouldn't offend anybody that is not guilty. But all of them are just running helter-skelter to show you that most of them are guilty of a whole lot of things. Most of them are terrorist sympathizers over there in the northern part. And Sheikh Gumi is not an exception. Because tell me why Donald Trump's message and warning and threat to Islamic terrorists became their own threat. Like they took the threat. That means if you're actually accepting the threat, it means you're not innocent, and probably you're one of the terrorists, because he that has no guilt shouldn't be afraid of anything. And an innocent man fears no accusation. But Sheikh Gumi has been running helter-skelter. He has run away from the country to tell you that there is something hidden that he's actually hiding, that he doesn't want the world to know. But the truth of the matter is that people have seen through him and known who he is and what he is, and probably how he has been pampering and probably romancing with terrorists in the country. So that's that for Sheikh Gumi. Now let's talk about what this Taoma. You could hear him, the guy I played this video. You could see what he was telling the federal government. Tell us what Nnamdi Kanu did that you're allowing Sheikh Gumi to be roaming about. This Sheikh Gumi has done unspeakable, broken the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, went into the bush to go and deliver cash to terrorists and all that. It is not the first, neither is it the second, neither is it the third. He has kept on warning the security agencies not to interfere with the bandits, that they should allow the bandits, so that the bandits will keep on carrying out their activities, freely and unchecked. And when people say we are not comfortable in this institution called Nigeria, you call them a mad people. Because tell me how you think people will be comfortable living with such a man. So it literally makes no sense living in the same country with people who believe that terrorists should not be eliminated. In fact, they believe that terrorists are their brothers, and for that reason nobody should touch them. And for that, it literally and absolutely makes no sense. Donald Trump, one thing I love about the United States is that they've done their due diligence. I call it their due diligence, because they've gotten all the data they want. They've gotten all the evidence and every other thing they want. Remember, they did not just start talking about or probably investigating about this Christian genocide and how the Nigerian government and some other leaders have been complicit in the fight against insecurity. They've documented these things for over more than 10 years, how they allow Sharia law to come to this and all that. So they can't be deceived. That is basically the truth. They have the data, or they have the data that they're actually working with. That is why the Nigerian government have tried to say there is no this, but these people keep on bringing. I remember when Kwankwaso wanted to attack the Riley Moore, being the U.S. congressman that actually, spoke about the Christian genocide and all that. Kwankwaso said Nigeria is a sovereign state, this and that. They brought out evidence where Kwankwaso was the governor of Kano State, and when Kwankwaso was the governor of Kano State and signed Sharia law or Sharia into law. And this Sharia law enabled the death for blasphemy, which is what have been rampant over there in the northern part. So the United States have done their due diligence. So the Nigerian government should just cut the trap and actually, start working, because you can't deceive them or probably convince or probably tweak the United States into believing what is not reality. That is basically the truth. So this guy was comparing Nnamdi Kanu, because that is basically the truth. What is it that Nnamdi Kanu did that the Nigerian government is holding him? Nothing, absolutely nothing. The Nigerian government cannot even substantiate beyond reasonable that the charges that they are even filing against Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the current case is they cannot even substantiate the charge as stands charge in their constitution on which they are charging Nnamdi Kanu under, which is what is causing this back and forth. Why Nnamdi Kanu refused to even open up his defense, which is why Nnamdi Kanu even refused at first to open up his defense, because he asked the federal government to show him where in the constitution where what he did was written, the punishment, and the Nigerian government have been unable to even provide the a part of the constitution or probably law that describes his offense. But aside that, the people are asking, Sheikh Gumi is working freely. A whole lot of things over there in the northern part. People are negotiating with bandits, so you will never see the Nigerian security architecture interfere with that negotiation. Communities, in fact, they are placing these people under salary. They are using our national cake or national money or resources to settle these bandits. That is why this banditry and terrorist group keep on growing, because they are getting money from the federal government indirectly, because the money that is being sent to fight insecurity in those states will end up being used to negotiate with them, and they will have more money and acquire more ammunition over there, which is very, very funny, honestly speaking with you guys. Well, we are going to see how things unfold. Sheikh Gumi, if you like, let him run from Turkey to Saudi Arabia. Remember, Saudi Arabia banned him from entering their country. An Islamic nation where they go for their Mecca banned him and told him, don't ever come to this country, because of they've seen him. The problem with the kind of Islam or practice in Nigeria is because it is mixed up with a lot of extremism. Saudi Arabia saw him and said, no, this particular man is not a good person to enter our land. They banned him, so he cannot even enter Saudi Arabia. He cannot even go for Makkah again in his entire life. But in Nigeria, he is being welcomed with open arms, and I don't just get it, because they believe that the country, Nigeria is just a home ground for criminals, extremists, and all that. And that is why corruption, insecurity will not end in the country, because we abate these people. We abate and accommodate these criminals. Well, that's all we have. Do you have to subscribe, like this particular video, share it, and let people know that Sheikh Gumi has actually run away from the country. Let him run. Donald Trump will actually catch up with him. See you guys later.